At the 5 minute mark, I'll start talking about this game. Can't wait. Boy, oh boy. Hello, who's your team? Because I can't see who that is. Game Stars, how are you? Thanks for showing up. I appreciate that. Thanks to all nine of you. Hello, Darji. I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Alora, hello. Draven, hello. Hi, everybody. I'm here to talk about Auburn versus Alabama. Hey, Auburn is coming off the biggest win they've had in about 3 years. And I know I said start at the 5 minute mark, but I'm going to go ahead and get started because I have a lot of people here. Auburn versus Alabama. As I was saying, Auburn has just came off the biggest win they've had in so many years. A top 15, I do. A top 15 Texas A&M team at home. Now, I know it was a home game for Auburn, but it's a big win. I mean, Auburn's been through so much this year, and really, record-wise, they're terrible, and their offense has had a lot of turnovers. They've had a lot of letdowns on the offensive side of the ball. Game Stars, yes, I see you. But really, in my opinion, I feel that they are better than what their record says. They're 5-6. The games with Missouri, California, Oklahoma, very winnable games. Okay, Arkansas also was very winnable. I do like Texas. I hope they beat Texas A&M, Rick. I'm with you on that. But they're not. Unfortunately, they're not. They're not 8-3, 7-4. They're unfortunately they're 5-6. But now I feel like that win. Do y'all think that Texas A&M win for Auburn? Do you guys feel that? Yes. Do y'all feel that this was a a sign that Auburn's headed in the right direction? Or do y'all think that this was just a big win because A&M played bad on the road again? Now let's look at Alabama. They just got embarrassed by Oklahoma, a team that Auburn, us, also lost to at home. The difference was Auburn had a chance to win that game and probably should have won had the pick six not happened at the end of the game. Alabama had no chance to win that game. Now, I will say one thing about Alabama. They are the most talented team Auburn will play all year, except for Georgia. They're both road games for Auburn. Do I think Alabama can win this game? Yeah, they definitely can. They got the talent edge. I believe Kalen DeBoer is a good coach. Now, look, I'm not here to bash Kalen DeBoer. I do believe he's a great coach. Unfortunately, he's taken over for the greatest college football coach of all time. And that kind of makes him look bad, even though I don't think he's the problem at Alabama. It should win this game against us. But I don't think it'll be that easy. Let's look at Alabama's losses, right? They lost to Vanderbilt. Why? A mobile quarterback, a team that runs the football pretty good and likes to put up points. They lost to Tennessee. Same reason. Mobile quarterback, they run the football really good. They couldn't stop the run. Their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. They lost at Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma, their offense was pretty much non-existent. They didn't even run the football very good. They found a way to run it with Arnold, thinking about Ole Miss for some reason. And they found a way to get that ball moving against Alabama's front seven, which is very talented. And that's a glaring problem for Alabama. Alabama has not won less than 10 games since Nick Saban's first year, by the way. That's not good, And Auburn plays a lot like Oklahoma did in that game. Auburn's a really good running team. They're a physical team up front. They're tough in the lines of scrimmage. They play in the trenches really good. And their defense is really good. Their defense can get takeaways. Their defense is good at getting pressure on the quarterback. And they're just a really tough physical team, who, in my opinion, has played better than what their record says. But they're a younger team, right? Hugh Freeze, our head coach, he went out and got a top 10 recruiting class. And he got some elite players on that team now, but they're young, they're not experienced. Cam Coleman, who is a really good receiver, he was a 5-star a year ago, kind of just showed up in the Texas A&M game. Now, he has made some plays this year, but none bigger than what he did with Texas A&M. Will he do it again against Alabama secondary? I think he can. And Peyton Thorne, not a very good quarterback, but he made some plays. He kind of won the Texas A&M game. He had the game-winning 2-point touchdown pass, whatever you want to call it, to win the game. Now, Auburn's defense sealed it, but he put Auburn in a good position to win that game. And he's the one that threw the touchdown passes, the big touchdown passes to Cam Coleman. So he really hasn't played badly lately. It's just the quarterback position. That's my honest opinion. That's why they've lost so many games. But then you look at him against Texas A&M and you think, wow, that's why we won the game. And Jarquez Hunter, he's a senior. Unfortunately, he probably won't be back next year. He can't be back. He's a senior. But because I believe Hugh Freeze recruits at such a high level, and you look at Hugh Freeze, he's kind of building this program for the long term. If you notice the steps he's been taking. Now, I know Auburn was 6-7 last year. They already had their bowl eligibility before they had to play Alabama last year. That team was not better than this year's team. Last year's Auburn team was not going to beat Texas A&M at home. Okay? It didn't matter where that game was played. This team is a lot better. Do I think Hugh Freeze will be the coach next year? Definitely, especially with that Texas A&M win. I definitely think he'll be the coach next year. I think Alabama's a 10-point plus favorite over Auburn. I consider that, I understand that to be accurate, and I'm not going to say I disagree with it because Auburn hasn't won over there since Cam Newton was quarterback. That was a long time ago. And Cam Newton's not even a quarterback in the NFL anymore. So that tells you how long it's been. But Alabama has not looked this bad either since then. So do I think Auburn can beat them? I think they can. They definitely can. They're a physical team. Alabama's 3 losses came to very physical teams. And think about it, Oklahoma, they have really underachieved this year. Did y'all know that Alabama game, the Oklahoma one, was only their second SEC win? Guess who the other SEC win was? Us. That's funny, isn't it? It's not funny to us, either one of us. But we don't want to be the loser of the Iron Bowl. That way, we can say we at least beat that team too. even though Oklahoma beat us. Um, it's just I don't know what it is with Kalen DeBoer. Maybe he needs to make some coaching changes. Maybe he needs to set his foot down more in that program. I know it happened in Vanderbilt, and that was weeks ago, months ago at this point. But Malachi Moore would not have done that if Nick Saban was there. Tried being told to get off the field by 2, 3 different coaches, and he just looks at you and just, "You going nowhere," and was allowed to stay. That would not have happened if Nick Saban was there. I don't know what the issue is at Alabama, but I don't care. I'm an Auburn fan. I just want us to win and go to a bowl game. And again, we haven't beat Alabama since 2019. All right? And I was at home in a messed up game that Tua was around for but didn't play because he was hurt. That's when Mac Jones was still quarterback. And we haven't won over there since the comeback. We don't beat Alabama in Alabama, so that worries me. But I also know Alabama's not Alabama anymore, right? They've lost 3 times. All 3 losses were pretty embarrassing, especially this one, to a team that's barely making a bowl game and probably won't even beat LSU this week. But I'm excited for this game, win or lose. And to be honest, I still think Auburn's in a better place now than what they were, excuse me, before Coach Hugh Freeze got there. Just because the program didn't really care to, the players didn't care to play. They had no defense, you know. Now Auburn's defense plays at least with some pride, and their offense does have a lot of effort. And again, it's just the little things, the turnovers, and it comes from bad quarterback play. What I think Hugh Freeze is doing, he's doing the right thing with Auburn, obviously. Come his 3rd year, that'll tell me more about Hugh Freeze than what right now is telling me. Right now, it looks like a building period that he's going through. It reminds me of Mike Norvell's first few years at Florida State. Obviously, this year didn't go very well, but the last 2 years were very successful years. He won 20-plus games in 2 years. That's awesome, man. But we'll see what happens. You know, do y'all think Auburn can pull it off? I think they can. I mean, I look at the score, the point spread in some of these games. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think Alabama's 10 points better than Auburn just because of how they play. And again, you can have all the talent you want, but if you can't put it together on the field, if you're not a tough team up front against everybody you play, that talent doesn't really help you very much. You know what I mean? Look at Ohio State in 2021 and 22, for example. Their defense let them down against Michigan and Georgia, giving up 40-plus points in both those games. And both teams ran the football pretty well on Ohio State those years. So that's not a good sign, which proves you can have all the talent you want, but if you're not very tough up front, it's going to hurt you. Now, obviously, I think Ohio State has fixed that problem, but I still got to see it with Michigan. Alabama, it's just too many red flags. After this year, I don't think they're going to fire Kalen DeBoer. Even, let's say, worst case, they lose to Auburn and they lose their bowl game. Are they getting rid of Kalen DeBoer? Probably not. It's his first year, and he had so much success at Washington without all the talent. And you kind of think, well, now that he has the talent, he should be more successful. And yeah, he should be, but it's his first year. I'd say give him some time. Definitely think he needs to get rid of his defensive coordinator. He needs to rely on much more than just Jalen Milroe's running game to win games, because he does run the football very good. But obviously it showed. Oklahoma shut that down. And then outside of that, they couldn't do anything. So that's not good. And I talk about the defensive coordinator because last year's Alabama's defensive coordinator, who's not there anymore, Alabama's defense was the backbone of that team. Alabama's defense is what took them to the SEC title game. And Milroe started to play better as a passer. So I guess it's proper coaching, but I don't want to say that because, again, I'm not here to bash Kalen DeBoer. That's okay, man. I'm going to keep doing it. And the thing is, I don't go live very often. Again, yesterday was the first time I went live since last year's playoff committee show. So I feel like the more often I go live, think about my channel, for example. Over 4 years, that's how long I've been around. But I don't have good camera quality. I know that. I know I need to get a better camera. I should probably have a better background. And I feel like people would take me more seriously. And again, I have over 1,000 subscribers. I got over 1,200 subscribers, so I don't think that's a problem. But I feel like I could and should be further along in my YouTube business because I've been posting all this stuff. And by now, I've got over 3,000 videos. But I also know the quality, like the background, all that stuff isn't very fancy. That's why people think, well, I'm not going to take him seriously. But obviously, when people watch me, I think I'm pretty watchable, right? I think so. And again, brings me back to my point about going live. The more often I go live, I think that's the better for my channel. So I'm not discouraged by it at all. I mean, that's not what I do for a living anyway. I'm a teacher. But that's why I don't cuss in my videos or talk about other stuff that could get me in trouble. So that way, if students find my channel, yes, I've had several students watch my channel. I agree. But I'm not discouraged by it. I mean, that's why if I have students, yes, I've had several students find my channel, but they can't complain or say anything bad because there's nothing wrong with what I say on here. So YouTube's not all I do. If it was, that'd be a different ballgame maybe. But yeah, I think Auburn could do it, And I'm kind of should be making my prediction now because now I'm 15 minutes in. But I like this video. This video's been clicking really good. I had about 15 people at one point. They all kind of jumped in and jumped out, but I'm glad they showed up. It's good. And again, I don't go live much, so I feel like I should make that more into a routine. And once I start doing that, I feel like more people will come in and actually want to see me and maybe even start sharing me or whatever. I've had some good videos over the years that I'm proud of, and I believe I'm going to have more. This year's kind of been a down year. This year I graduated from Albany State University. That wasn't a down year, but YouTube-wise, it's been kind of a down year. Yeah. And I had student teaching back in January all the way through April. I drove basically an hour and a half to do my student teaching because I couldn't do it in the state of Florida where I live. I had to do it in Georgia. Albany's graduation requiremements, stuff and all that, which was a good experience. Now, I liked the school I went to. There were some great kids, great teachers. Everything flowed perfectly. And right as I finished, I graduated from Albany State University. And then after that, I did summer school stuff. Again, I wasn't on my phone very much. Now I'm teaching, and I teach math and science for 2 different grade levels. It's brutal, a lot of planning, a lot of other things. And, science is hands-on, so coming up with projects and all kinds of stuff, that's really hard to do. And, as a teacher, there's other stuff you deal with that have nothing to do with teaching, like Thanksgiving stuff going on. Now we got Christmas stuff going on. And that kind of makes it harder for you to do what you want to do. And there's so much stuff that goes into it, and I love it. Don't make no mistake about it. But it takes away time from my YouTube thing because YouTube's not primary for me. It's kind of a secondary thing in my life. But it is something I take very seriously. But lately this year, there have been times where I almost go a week without posting anything, and that's why there's so much stuff going on. Not bad things, but again, it's good things. And again, when I said a down year, I wasn't talking about my personal life or anything like that. YouTube-wise, I know it's been a down year. I have not uploaded as much stuff. I have not had the audience. That's because I don't upload as much. Let's go back to last year and year before. I was uploading crazy all the time, and I got a lot of attention for it. There's proof in my most popular videos and my shorts. But this is the year coming up year 2025. Where I believe it's going to get better. I plan on getting a camera and a better computer, a laptop, so I can upload more, go live more with better quality. That way people will be more magnetized to my stuff than they already are. And I know I get a lot of attention because I got over 1,200 subscribers, and that's pretty good without any sponsors, without any kind of support outside of the great people that watch my stuff, that watch silly stuff like me, silly people like me talk about the stuff I talk about. And I know I have a decent audience because I talk about college football, mixed martial arts, very popular sports. So it's been worth it, And I love it, and I'm not going anywhere. I doubt I'm going to stop YouTube anytime soon. So yeah. But I do love YouTube. Do I have any goals for YouTube? Definitely I do. I would like to get really big to the point where everybody knows me. Everyone wants to watch me more and share me. Maybe do podcasts with famous people one day. Someone worth my time. Vice versa, I could be worth their time, and we both get somewhere with doing what we're doing. But I'm completely off topic from the video, and I think that's why so many people just left. But my point is, Auburn is a lot better than the record says. Do I think they actually win the game? Probably not, if I'm being honest. And now I'm not talking as a fan. I'm talking as a realist, even though I got the Auburn jersey on, the Cam Newton jersey. I got to go with Alabama here. I think Alabama wins the game. I think they're just a better team. What do I think? How do I think this game goes? Okay. This is going to be a very tough game, a very physical game. Auburn's going to be in a position a few times to win this game. But because Auburn has not won at Alabama in 14 years, because I think Alabama is way more talented than Auburn, and Alabama now knows what they have to play for. No, they're not going to the SEC title game. No, they're not going to the playoffs, but they can still win 10 games. They win this game, and if they happen to win their bowl game, that would be huge. That would still be a decent first year for Kalen DeBoer, who has been such a winner throughout his whole life. So I think this will be close for about 3 quarters, maybe half. after halftime, I just think the better athletes will show up. Because when you look at Oklahoma, they have great athletes. They're tough up front. They just don't have a passing game. Their defense is phenomenal. Auburn's defense is really good. It's not phenomenal. There have been some teams to run the football on Auburn. And not because Auburn's soft or they're not very good. They're a really good defense. It's just their offense has let them down, and I believe it'll let them down again because they do have problems protecting their quarterback sometimes. Now, it also depends. I just don't like how it depends on Auburn's running game. Look at last year's game against Alabama, for example. Auburn was close in that game because they were able to make explosive plays in the running game. This year, do I think they can do it? I think they can. I just don't like the idea that it's an if factor. If they get the running game. Hey, what's up? Welcome back. It's the if this goes right, if this doesn't go right, what will happen? That's why I don't like them as an Auburn fan. Anytime I've talked about games or I've made friendly bets, like with another YouTuber, a great YouTuber, by the way, Uncle Luma, big fan of his. I remember talking about the LSU Alabama game last year, and he said on his channel Alabama would lose 3 games, just like they did this year, because they lost Bryce Young, they lost all these players. Their receivers were like they led the SEC in drop passes or whatever, and it was true. But I looked into more. Anytime I make a prediction or I talk about anything like that, I look at history, I look at stats, I look at all kinds of things, especially nowadays. That's why I make a lot of good predictions and I have a lot of success on my channel when I talk about those things. But whenever I talk about these games, I consider history. Who usually wins this game? Where is this game being played? Where are both teams at this point in the season? Are they undefeated? Who has the more talented team? Who are the coaches? Now, the reason why I think this game will be close and competitive is because Hugh Freeze is an outstanding coach. You know what he has done in his career? He's beat Alabama back-to-back years before with different quarterbacks. Whether it was home or away, he got it done against better Alabama teams than what they are now. Now, this Auburn team he has is really talented, but they're a lot younger, and they have not played good all year. I also consider both teams coming off games. Alabama obviously had the worst game of the two. Auburn had their best win in a long time. Alabama had their worst loss in a long time. But I think to me, it goes down to this. Even if Alabama for some reason cannot stop the run, which I think is possible because they have not stopped the run all year against decent teams. If their offense turns the ball over a lot, which I think they will, I still think it goes down to location in this game. I think it goes down to who has the more talent in this game. And I just think it's just history will repeat itself. Alabama usually wins this game. So I have to pick Alabama here. I don't want to do that, and I hate doing it as an Auburn fan. But I truly do believe Auburn will lose this game just because the last few years they have not had a winning season. They didn't have it in 2020. They didn't have it in 21, 22, or last year when they made a bowl game. They've had losing seasons, And here's the thing. I don't think Auburn's a lousy program or anything like that. It's just I think history will repeat itself. That's just what it is. That's my opinion. Now, had Auburn won those games with California, with Arkansas, with Missouri, Oklahoma, I think they could win this game because they're a team that finds ways to win, but they have seemed to find ways to lose. But it's hard because they're coming off the biggest win. And they found a way to win when they should not have won. Texas A&M's a way better team than Auburn, but they didn't beat Auburn. So is it possible? Yes. What would be my win percentage? Let me go use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'm not going nowhere, guys. It's a great little live, by the way. I got a lot of engagement. Sorry about that. I'm back. But this is kind of a harder game to pick than some of the other games we have going on that are bigger games. On paper, Texas A&M's a real big game, obviously because of the rivalry, because of what's at stake. But this game is just about as hard to predict as that one, if not harder. Because Alabama's so bad this year. Auburn's also bad, but they've been playing a lot better lately. And they're coming off a big win. That was a huge momentum boost for Auburn going into this game. Because here's the thing. Auburn played so bad for most of the year. Then they played great for one game. Have they hit their stride? Look at Florida, for example. They've started to hit a stride, right? I'm right here. Went to the bathroom. But it's such a hard game to predict. I'm only picking Bama because it's smart. It's smart for me to pick Alabama. Now, if we win this game, I'm going to make a good reaction video. I'm going to have so much fun. Ooh, we'll go to a bowl game, back-to-back wins over good SEC programs. Heck yeah, I'm celebrating. But unfortunately, as a fan, not just as a fan, but as a realist, I have to go with Bama. History says Alabama wins. Okay? Alabama is in a better position to win this game than Auburn is, in my opinion. Despite the Oklahoma embarrassment, despite not beating Tennessee twice for the last 15, 16, 17 years, despite, the Vanderbilt embarrassment. By the way, Auburn lost to them too, at home. I have to go with Alabama. And I mean, I think a lot of people just showed up because they agree with me on that. I hate to say that, but that's just what it is. But I do think this will be a great game. It'll be fun to watch. It's always a tough, competitive game. And by the way, because it's in Alabama, lately it has not been competitive at all. Good water. But we'll see. We'll see. The only advantages I think Auburn has is they're coming off a big win, so they're at an all-time high right now, trying to win this game. They know they got to go to a bowl, so they're going to play better than they ever have. And Alabama's coming off a loss. Again, a disappointing loss. And last time Alabama came off a loss, an embarrassing loss. Now, Tennessee wasn't really an embarrassing loss. It was a close, competitive game. Could have gone either way. But the Vanderbilt loss was embarrassing. The last time they came off an embarrassing loss and they came back home, had to play somebody, they played terribly and won by the skin of their teeth. So we'll see. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think wins? And I'm sure when this video's over, I'm going to have a lot of feedback and a lot of people say a lot of things. But, I have to pick Bama. It's just smart. There's some things you do and don't do when you pick games, pick winners. And I have to pick Alabama, in a close one. But I will give Auburn a 40% chance to win that game just because Auburn's coming off that win, their biggest win of the year. And Alabama's coming off the worst loss of the year. And again, the last time we saw Alabama come off an embarrassing loss, they showed up and didn't play very good. And I know Auburn has had a hard time with Bama, but again, Auburn has all the recipes to win this game. Good running game. A mobile quarterback that can take the football and isn't afraid to run it. Kind of what Jackson Arnold is at Oklahoma, right? So it's really tough, And Auburn's tough on the line of scrimmage. They are a tough team. They lost to Arkansas. But Arkansas had a hard time scoring on them. Just like them, Alabama's a mobile quarterback who's very inconsistent at times. But we'll see what happens. I mean, War Eagle. I'm hoping for the best. I'm nervous for that game. It's an ABC game. It's a big game. It matters. And we'll see what happens. But, yeah. I'm going to stop this video in about a minute and a half just so I can charge this thing. My phone is about to die right now as we speak. And again, thanks for you guys coming to watch the video. Had a good time talking to y'all, giving y'all some information, giving you guys my thoughts and opinions on this game. And and here's the thing. I'm not a guy who's discouraged by low numbers or not much support on my channel. I also understand the circumstances going into it. I know I haven't uploaded as much as I could have. I know that I have not been as productive this year on my channel as much as I could have, and that's why, obviously. And again, I'm sure my numbers wouldn't be sky-high numbers even if I was doing that because I know I'm not sponsored. I don't get any kind of special pull or any special privileges. I don't really throw any money into my channel, really. Anything I've gotten to this point, any success has been earned. I just make good videos. I'm funny in some of my videos. I bash programs. Shout out to that team in Columbus. But that's about it. I mean, I talk about stuff that people want to talk about and want to hear about and want to throw their opinions in. And I got some really cool people on my channel that watch my stuff. And I've interacted with some really good YouTubers. Shout out to the amazing Uncle Lou, by the way. And that's pretty much been the recipe to success of my channel. So come 2025, I feel this channel will get better. So a lot of things are going right in my personal life. A lot of things are going right in general, and I feel like it's only going to continue to go up. I expect more success, and I expect to be bigger on YouTube as we speak. Oh, and shout out to Dads Against Predators. Talking about them and interacting with them has also helped my channel. But they're both good people. Joshua Mundy and Jay Carnicom, they have come to my channel a few times and watched my stuff. I had Jay Carnicom be the 1,000th subscriber to my YouTube channel to where I can accomplish that and get 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much. I haven't forgotten about that. But yeah, it is what it is. War Eagle, I hope we beat Alabama. I'll catch y'all in a few minutes. I'm gonna let my phone charge, and then I'm gonna talk about South Carolina versus Clemson because that video always brings me a lot of attention. So yeah, we'll see what happens.